You know that feeling when you think you found that secret bait? This is that bait. You know that feeling when you think you got a secret bait nobody else is using, nobody else has? This is that bait, except Scott Martin knows. What's up, Scott? He bought a pack of these off the eBay store before he went up on the Northern Swing on the Elite Series. So pretty sure he was gonna use these to target smallies. Today we're going crab man style. Get the pick for your afro out. What's up, Earl? Today we're throwing the Jackall Drift Crab Mini. This is Northern Strain style. Hit that like and subscribe, and let's go.
I'm a fishing man out on the lake. I got a boat full of tackle and a pole that'll never break. Well, over on the lake in a shady little nook sat a sweet little thing trying to bait her hook. The way she looked in her bathing tan, I almost forgot I was a fishing man. But I'm a fishing man out on the lake. All you need is a line and a pole that'll never break.
The Jackall Drift Crab Mini. It's a little mini crab. They're all individually packaged in their own like little bait coffin, and that's for a really good reason. And I feel like they got some powder on it to keep these legs separated, because this is that elastic material, and I'm telling you, even if it sits out in the sun a little bit, these legs are gonna stick together. You can peel them back apart, but that's the only pain in the ass I found with this bait. And obviously don't put it next to any other bait, especially soft plastics or anything plastic, because it's gonna melt to it and it's gonna get all funky. But so the body on this is just under an inch, but with all the legs and everything, it's just over 3 inches, and it weighs 2.5 grams. But it's a floating material with that elastic material, and it's got good stretch and great durability. I was really surprised by that. I didn't think it was going to be elastomer. There we go. I went to loosen my drag and my bail opened. So when it's this elastic stuff, when I had it rigged up on the drop shot, it just floats right there. I don't even have to like shake it or nothing, and I can put slack in my line and the crab will just float right where it's at. You know, it hardly sinks at all. And what I noticed too is, like, if you're working your drop shot back to the boat, like, and you're pumping the bait, it's got really cool action that way, you know. So I would definitely impart that into my retrieve. Now, how I was rigging it up, I was running my hook through this side of the bait and then just letting it stick out. And you can also run it through the long way too, if you want it to hold on to the hook shank better. You can also rig this wacky or weighted. There we go. It's dropping down on me, boy. That old mini crab. You can see in the footage how green the water is, and these fish were just like lethargic, sitting in one spot out deep off a gradual sloping point, and you literally had to get right up on top of them and just throw something very neutral above their head to get them to react and bite. Like if you were dragging a jig or anything, they weren't having it. So I was just slanking around looking for them on the graph, and when I would see one, or one that I thought was one, I would just drop down on them, and normally they would bite it right away. Sometimes you gotta just give it a few. So this is what I'm looking at, and then dropping down on those bumps right there. Yep, right there. That's what we're looking for, and we just drop down on top of them. So what I'm doing is just slanking around these hard bottoms, these hard spots on the bottom. You can see it because it's really bright white. That's your hard spot. And as soon as I see a mark that looks like a bass, I'm dropping down on them. I got my finger on the trigger, ready to drop down at a moment's notice. But yeah, you just kind of slank around. Sometimes they'll come in waves, so you can just chill in one spot. So I'm dropping down, and I'm just trying to keep the line a little taut, but throwing just a little bit of slack in there every once in a while, just to put a little movement into the bait. But I'm just really trying to keep the cylinder weight glued to the bottom. When you're dropping down on them, these bites can be finicky or hard to feel, because a lot of times they'll just bite it and then sit there. They won't swim away like when you're casting and retrieving a bait. Ooh, little walleye bite. Some of the biggest fish doing this will just be a little tap. There we go. Oh, the runt of the litter.